Hello, welcome to Makeup on Point. I'm Christy. Hope you're all having a lovely day. Today is the start of a little quick mini series of videos. We are going to be discussing the Batman movies pre-millennia. So that will be including Batman, Batman Returns, Batman Forever, and Batman and Robin. Since September is usually the day that we have Batman Day, so I thought we'd dedicate this month's videos to the Dark Knight himself. Plus, I wanted to focus on the pre-DCEU Batman and focus on like when Warner Brothers just got a big hold of Batman and how it pretty much started our Batman movie trend, essentially. From a good beginning to its trail off in the 90s. We're talking about you, George Clooney, Batman. In today's video, we will be discussing the movie Batman. The one that came out in 1989, directed by Tim Burton. The lovely, lovely Tim Burton. So let's discuss some Batman. Let's get to body painting, and I will see you in the next slide. Alright, so voiceover Christy taking over for the rest of this video. So let's get ready. Let's take our straps off. Let's start outlining. Now let's get into our facts. So like I said, the Batman movie came out in 1989 and it was actually the first installment of Warner Brothers for their initial Batman film series. So the movie rights for Batman was purchased by producers Benjamin Melniker and Michael Uslan in 1979. It was Uslan's wish to make the definitive dark serious version of Batman the way Bob Kane and Bill Finger, the actual creators of Batman, had envisioned in 1939. Trying to stay away from the campy 1960s Batman, which was hard because that's all the other studios wanted for the movie. And they had scripts written to give a better idea of the vision to carry the darker tones that they wanted. Eventually, they passed on the work to Peter Gruber and John Peters to further keep it going after struggling to get it accepted. In 1983, Tom Mankiewicz completed a script titled The Batman, focusing on Batman and Dick Grayson's origins, taking inspiration from the limited series Batman: Strange Apparitions. At that point, originally a mid-1985 film release was announced, and they wanted an unknown actor for Batman, William Holden for James Gordon, David Niven as Alfred Pennyworth, and Peter O'Toole as the Penguin, whom Mankiewicz wanted to portray as a master with a low body temperature. But however, there was a problem. William Holden died in 1981, and David Niven passed in 1983. So that kind of had to change some things. So now more filmmakers got involved, including Ivan Reitman and Joe Dante. Now Reitman wanted to cast Bill Murray as Batman and Eddie Murphy as Robin. Well, that's a duo you never thought would be taken seriously for our Batman duo. And then after multiple rewrites and after the success of Pee-wee's Big Adventure, Tim Burton was signed on to direct Batman. Burton decided to have Julie Hickson, his Frankenweenie producer, write a 30-page film treatment since he felt Mankiewicz's script was still too campy for the darker tones they were still trying to reach. He then also brought in Sam Hamm, a comic book fan and screenwriter, to write the screenplay. Then once Beetlejuice became a bigger success for Tim Burton, the film was finally greenlit to be fully made. Hamm and Burton fashioned a dark, brooding, deeply psychological story for our Dark Knight, and wanted to put him against the Joker in a dark, hellish vision of Gotham City. Now they really got to delve into that darker tone finally due to the success of Frank Miller's The Dark Knight Returns, which focused on a darker side of Batman, and Alan Moore's The Killing Joke, which features Batman battling the Joker. Now, Burton wasn't much of a comic book fan, but he loved Batman and the split personality and hidden persona he carries. He felt it was a character he could relate to, of having a light side and a dark side, and not being able to resolve them, a feeling that's not uncommon. He said, and I quote, "People often present themselves as one thing, but are really something else." Now let's get into the casting of our Batman. Now, there was a who's who of Hollywood stars being considered for the role of Batman. This list included Mel Gibson, Kevin Costner, Charlie Sheen, Tom Selleck, Bill Murray, Harrison Ford, and Dennis Quaid. Even Pierce Brosnan was approached for the role, but he had no interest. Producer John Peters suggested Michael Keaton, saying he had the right edgy, tormented quality after seeing his performance in Clean and Sober. Burton agreed since he just worked with him in Beetlejuice. Now, Burton said when it comes to Batman, he couldn't picture seeing these big macho guys putting on a bat suit. Why would this big macho Arnold Schwarzenegger type person dress up as a bat? A bat is a wild thing. And he wanted to look for that guy you could see putting on the suit and does what he does because he needs to. Because he's not this gigantic macho man. It's all about the transformation. And he felt Keaton had that look in his eye and can pull it off. Now, with the casting of Michael Keaton, there is a huge backlash in the news of it. Now, it caused a lot of controversy. Bat fans everywhere were horrified at the news and flooded Warner Brothers with 50,000 letters protesting this casting of Batman. The negative reaction reached such proportions that Warner Brothers' share price slumped. Outraged fans tore up publicity material at comic conventions, and the Wall Street Journal covered the crisis on page 1, quoting, "By casting a clown, Warner Brothers and Tim Burton have defecated on the history of Batman. Even Adam West, who played the 1960s Batman, thought himself a better choice than Michael Keaton." Jesus, that's rough. Now, before I discuss more on the backlash and opinions of that casting, let's get into the casting of the Joker. Now, there were big names attached to the casting for the Joker as well, and that included Tim Curry, David Bowie, John Lithgow, Ray Liotta, and James Woods. Now, during John Lithgow's audition, he actually attempted to talk Tim Burton out of casting him, which he later regretted, stating he didn't realize it was such a big deal to be the Joker. Even Robin Williams was offered the role after the studio's top choice, Jack Nicholson, hesitated. Now, there's kind of a messed up situation when it came to Robin Williams. They actually used Robin Williams as bait to make Jack Nicholson accept the role as the Joker. Since Robin Williams actually accepted the role, but was released the moment Jack Nicholson took it. And Robin Williams resented Warner Brothers for using him as bait and refused to work with them, even refusing to take the Riddler role in the later movie Batman Forever until the studio apologized. But then, Jack Nicholson was officially cast as the Joker. Now, a lot of the discussion when it came to these castings between Batman and Joker were very polar opposites. Since for Michael Keaton, he wasn't the image of Bruce Wayne, but in the comics, the image of the Joker is this really thin man. So it's kind of a bit of a toss-up, like, if you want to go based on comic book image, Jack Nicholson doesn't look like the Joker at all, but no one had a problem with him being cast as the Joker. But Michael Keaton, it was a huge ordeal and just went nuts. So it's kind of a weird bias when you want to talk about opinions. But I think through all the Batman movies, there's always been some type of backlash when it comes to casting Batman, even to our now current Batman being Robert Pattinson, which I think he may actually pull it through, but we'll see when that movie comes out next year. Now, along with the casting complaints, fans had a lot of other complaints to go along with it. They were completely outraged by the redesign of the Batman suit by costume designer Bob Ringwood. He changed the color from blue to black and incorporated fake muscles into the design. Now, Tim Burton didn't want tights, spandex, or underpants for the suit because he felt it wasn't intimidating. I mean, in cartoon drawings it probably looks fine, but when you actually see it in person, I mean, we all seen what happens when you see the underwear for Superman. It doesn't look as intimidating as you think it is. Now, it also came down to the psychology they kept referring to in production. Tim Burton said, "Here's a guy who doesn't look like Arnold Schwarzenegger, so why is he doing this? He's trying to create an image for himself. He's trying to become something that he's not. Therefore, every decision that we made was based upon that. The idea was to humanize him and to darken everything." Now, to combat all these negative rumors and backlash and complaints about the production, Warner Brothers hastily put together a theatrical trailer to be distributed into theaters. Now, to test its effectiveness, Warner Brothers executives showed it at a theater in Westwood, California, to an unsuspecting audience. That 90-second trailer received a standing ovation and later became a popular bootleg at comic book conventions. People even paid full price for movie tickets just to watch the trailer and left before the feature movie even began. You want to talk all that negative nonsense, then you want to be all crazy and actually appreciate the work. This is why I say, don't judge before you actually see the thing. Now we're just going to take a quick intermission just to remind you to subscribe. Click that subscribe button to see more videos like this. And actually, I'm curious, comment below who your favorite Batman casting is. I'm very curious who you think was the best one and who is the worst one. I'll see you in the comments below, and just take a minute to watch this body painting go. Alright, let's get back to our facts now. Now, Michael Keaton's Batman actually had a lot of influence when it came to future Batmans after him. So Michael Keaton calls himself more of a logic freak and was concerned that Batman's secret identity would in reality be fairly easy to uncover, and discussed ideas with Tim Burton to better disguise the character, including the use of contact lenses. Ultimately, he decided to perform Batman's voice at a lower register than when he was performing as Bruce Wayne, and this became the staple for all future Batmen. I mean, we all remember Christian Bale's Batman voice, and no, I'm not going to recreate it right now with my own voice. And Michael Keaton actually came up with the famous "I'm Batman" line, because the script actually said "I am the Knight" instead of "I am Batman." And he just improvised it on the spot, and it actually became the best line in the entire movie. And in the suit, Michael Keaton was unable to hear while wearing it, and his claustrophobia helped him get in the proper mood to play Batman and made him go inward and able to play withdrawn, which he wanted. Now, when it came to Jack Nicholson's Joker, it actually was one of his favorite roles he ever played. He loved his performance so much that at one point he was watching the film once a week at his house. Jack Nicholson actually received a percentage of the gross on the film, and due to his massive box office take, he took home around $60 million. And as of an article of 2003, it is still the single movie record for an actor's salary. Now, upon taking the role, Jack Nicholson had a strict schedule stipulated into his contract, that his casting call was to be later than most actors on set. He was known for having late evenings up to 3 in the morning before he would get home, as he dined out every night or attended small parties. Michael Keaton would arrive early in the mornings, and Jack Nicholson would come in around 10 a.m. at the earliest and greet Michael Keaton and then sit on his chair. He would tilt back and fall asleep as the makeup artists did their job. Speaking of the makeup, Jack Nicholson also had demanded approval over the makeup designers and his designs before signing his contract. Nick Dudman sculpted 6 Joker designs, 2 of which were chosen by him and Tim Burton and sent to Jack Nicholson. After approving 1 design, that's when Jack Nicholson signed the contract. Now, the Joker makeup process took 2 hours to transform every day. They had to use a total of 355 silicone adhesives for Jack Nicholson's makeup since he had an allergy to spirit gum. And they used acrylic-based makeup paint called Pax for Jack Nicholson's chalk white face, which was tricky finding the right shade of white, in contrast to the dark sets and Batman's black suit, since a pure white would actually blur out Jack Nicholson's face on camera. Now, the makeup team for the Batman had a lot of work to do, since, as we see in the movie, the Joker's face is naturally chalk white, so there's a lot of times where he would be painting himself flesh color to blend in with the rest of society. Now in the script, it was specified that there was a scene in which the Joker would have to use that fake flesh-colored makeup and have to wipe it off to reveal the white skin underneath, meaning the makeup effects team had to find a way to take one layer of makeup off to leave another one intact. And makeup designer Nick Dunman came up with the solution. So what they did was they painted Jack Nicholson with the white Pax paint that they always use, and then put a thin layer of food-grade silicone oil, which nothing sticks to, on top of it. They then took flesh-colored grease paint, which painstakingly painted it to where it was literally sitting on top of the oils. They then airbrushed and faded it into the look to make it look natural. And then after soaking the Joker's handkerchief in isopropyl alcohol, which is a makeup removal solution, Jack Nicholson was able to wipe at his face and it would strip off the grease paint but leave the white Pax paint underneath intact. And I'll show the scene here up on the screen so you see what I'm talking about. Now last but not least, we're going to discuss the music of the movie. Now, Burton called up Danny Elfman to provide Batman's dark orchestral score. Now they needed two numbers, one for when the Joker goes into the museum and the other for the parade sequence. Now Burton actually used music by Prince for those scenes when they shot them, but what happened was it snowballed from there. Prince really got into the movie and wrote a bunch of songs. Producers had the idea to get Michael Jackson to do the Love theme. And they just wanted Prince to do the Joker theme, and they wanted Danny Elfman just to tie it all together. However, Tim Burton felt like what the producers wanted to do with the music, how they would do for like a movie like Top Gun to make it this epic music song of the theme of the movie, but for Tim Burton, he felt it doesn't work for how his movies work and how it all works together and the psychology and how it ties it all together. He wasn't really working for it, and he felt bad since Prince actually worked on those bunch of songs. He felt he did a disservice to them and his record company, even though he still made a whole bunch of money off of those songs. But it all came in the end and he got his one song into it. Now, Batman opened in the USA on June 21st, 1989, and became the first film to break $100 million in its first 10 days of release. It eventually became not only the top moneymaker of 1989, with a worldwide gross in excess of $500 million, and the biggest film in Warner Brothers history at the time, but also a multimedia merchandising and cultural phenomenon, the hype of which had never been seen before, until the release of Jurassic Park in 1993, and it was the blockbuster against which all subsequent blockbusters had to be measured. Even Anton Furst won an Oscar for his design work on the movie Batman, but was criticized for being too dark, and many critics felt that Burton was more interested in the Joker than in the title character, but he just felt that there was an inherent difference in the characters of Batman and the Joker. The Joker is an extrovert and Batman is an introvert, so no matter what you do, you can't match the energy and the balance between the two characters. Now that we got all our facts done, I think it's time for a quick little montage reveal. Are you ready? Well, here we go. Joker makeup and body paint. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video today and got to have fun getting all Joker-fied with me. If you did enjoy it, don't forget to give it a thumbs up right down. Click it. There you go. And don't forget to subscribe for more videos just like this one. All the products I use in this video, plus links galore, will be in the description box below. As always, if you have any suggestions or if there's a movie that you would like to pop up in the next video, please comment that below. As always, be kind to others, love yourself, stay safe, stay healthy, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!